Hello, everybody, and welcome to Catalyst of Change. I'm your host, Alexia Cito, and I am so excited to be here with Sharon Mahnep of the Mahnep Consulting Group and so much more. You're like this multifaceted, multidimensional, amazing person who's just up to so much impact in the world, and a mom.
A doting aunt, and a dog mom.
Aunt. Yeah. Sorry, I consider dogs are children.
I think they are.
So, I mean, I consider myself a mom of Sadie, my little rescue. But so, yeah, and a philanthropist and just like an amazing soul. You know, I had the opportunity of being able to see you on the panelists at the World Summit on Women and Girls. So
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun in London. And now we're in New York for anyone who's just tuning in, which is really exciting. And we want to just thank you so much for being on Catalyst of Change and being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm having so much fun already. Yeah. We just started.
And you are like a Manhattaner. Is that a thing, a Manhattaner?
Yes, Yorker? Manhattaner, New Yorker.
Yeah.
I'm in the city. I came by subway like a true New Yorker. I came up here. I love living in New York, and you clearly love New York too.
Oh, I love it. It's very. I got my whole New York experience like yesterday on the subway, on the street, on the like just wild. I was like, this is such a New York day.
That's right. And it's always like that. And today they had the marathon, the half marathon today.
The marathon. Yes. Yeah, right up at 7 a.m. People cheering, screaming, singing. I'm just like, whoa, yes. The city that never sleeps, which I mentioned already. But yeah,
that's right.
It's powerful. So,
and you're up early.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, I love that energy because like life is meant to be lived and it's enjoyed. And like,
that's right.
You know, and I feel like that energy here.
Yes.
And there's something about people like, it's like, there's this energy of appreciation. Yes. It's like there's something about people that we enjoy life to its fullest. And it's like no matter what's happening, it's like just be yourself, live your life. And I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in that.
Yes.
And I'm curious before diving into a lot of the amazing work that you're doing and the impact you're making, like maybe just starting on that note as a New Yorker, you know, with this energy, like what is it about that gives you perspective and how you see life and live every day?
I love New York. It's very much work hard, play hard. And it's so much fun. I mean, here there's something for everybody. It's so diverse. You don't even have to travel that much because everything is in New York. And I always kind of chuckle to myself. You always see the news. And from an outside perspective, people are always asking, is New York going down? Is New York going to die? And I'm like, New York always comes back. It never goes down. It always rebounds. And in the best way. I mean, I've lived through 9/11. I've lived through, you know, the dot-com bust, once in a lifetime COVID, once in a lifetime hurricane, earthquakes, you name it, we've lived through it. But we're New Yorkers, so we're resilient. And we love it. We love when New York comes back. It always bounces back. So it offers so much. And it's just always, as you said, nonstop, energetic, and always great.
Yes, it is. And you bring that energy, which is like so powerful. And you bring it into so much that you do. So I would love to hear, like, what is it that you are passionate about in giving back and in the philanthropy work that you do? And what is it that you know, really drives you or inspires you?
So early in my career, I went to law school, and I thought that was the path to take. I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do? I'll go to law school. It was during the recession at the time, and I said to myself, I'm going to go get an education. Well, while everyone else was floundering around figuring out what to do, I said, I'll go to law school. I love law school, but I did not love the practice of law. And then I thought to myself, what am I going to do? I have student loans out. I practice law. But what I realized is that I enjoyed helping people, but I didn't love the acrimony of being a trial lawyer. Like, that wasn't really my thing. Like, I'm a hug it out type of girl. I don't want to fight everybody, especially if it doesn't make sense. So one day a recruiter called me and said, we would love you to interview with another firm. And I said to myself, you know, I'm not sure if I want to interview with another firm, but I would love to hear more about recruiting. So the job literally came to me. And that's why when people say, with all those cliches, you know, be prepared, a little luck, a little preparation, but that literally was what happened. And an opportunity fell right on my lap. I seized it. I worked with the woman that had called me. And now I've been doing executive headhunting consulting for about 25 years. And I absolutely love it. I feel like I never work a day in my life. I love it. So much better than being a lawyer.
Yeah.
People actually like me now. They like me much better. But you can bring that aspect to your job where you help others, and I'm helping people find better jobs, better opportunities, putting deals together. And in doing that, you're working collaboratively to actually build something and not destroy something. You're working together to build, to find people jobs, to put companies together. And there's just so much joy in that. You're actually, doing something very positive, which I like.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, you're creating these opportunities. You're giving these new pathways. You're in this like creation mode. And I wonder, like, for you in this role, especially over these years, you must have seen so much transformation. Like people who, were in one phase in their life, but now it's like this whole new window opens.
That's right.
Or this organization just grow and flourish with like a whole new team. And the importance of like the people on your team, which is something I've recently been doing a lot of research about, even for the Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation with Catalysts of Change, because with that next stage, that next level of growth, how important it actually is for the people on the team. And that's what I'm kind of curious to learn a little bit about is like, what has it been like observing the shifts within people and also within the organizations that you support?
That's a great point. That's a really good point. Because a lot of times when you move people to a new job or a new opportunity, you have to make sure that the culture's there, that the people get along. I think people don't realize how important it is. It's the glue that holds people together. Oh, look, someone's calling us now for an opportunity. Yes! Great timing.
Sorry, I actually forgot to put that on. Wait.
It's all good. We're always working. We multitask. We do the podcast. We take deals. We don't let any grass go below our feet. That's like being in New York. Everyone's always working, multitasking.
She's okay. Okay, so it's our next guest. So I'm just gonna put it on. So I don't know, Kevin, if you hear this, but she's on her way.
Is she from New York?
She's from New York or Philadelphia. You know her, Nicole.
Oh, Nicole,
Ross.
great.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just send her a quick note, and I'll just say,
tell her I said hi.
Hey, Nicole, I'm here with Sharon. We say hi.
Hi, Nicole.
We're just in the middle of her episode. And so get here just whenever you can. There's no rush. The actual talking time, I already said that above, is 30 to 40 minutes. So there's a bit of a buffer there. But get here whenever you can. And our amazing videographer, Kevin's here. And if you buzz up, he can let you in. Okay.
And join us.
Yeah, come on in. Okay. And cut. I'll do
begin again. Yeah. I love it. You never know what's going to happen on the show. You just go with the flow. Some people call in, they ring in. It's all good. It just happens. It just happens.
Yeah.
Opportunity calling, literally.
Exactly. Yeah. It's true.
People believe us. It's happening as we speak.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, and it's like, it really is like that energy. It's like, and I feel like hearing you share this is like, because the shifts with the people, with the organizations, and, I'm curious, like, with what you do, is there something in your life, like even outside of that, do you feel like it's all consuming? Is this something that's like you're like always on and like in it? Or do you find like you have things that are outside of that as well that you're like passionate about and you're doing? I'm curious about that.
I think that with the type of career that I created for myself and the type of entrepreneurial endeavor that I can do I can marry my passion for philanthropic work with my job. Like when I was working at some of the big firms in New York, when I was a trial lawyer, I never had any time for myself, for any outside interests. And I think that wasn't really the healthiest way to go. I like espousing the fact that you could take your job and kind of also do what you enjoy. And I think that gives you the best balance. And I think you're at your best in your job if you can also have outside passions and do something other than just be so myopic. And I think it's important to give back. It just is. The older I get, the more I think about legacy and how much more important it is that you always have to be gearing towards the future, mentoring people, helping them up the ladder like people helped you. You want to give back. And I think that's more important. That's really, when you're younger, you're so ambitious. You just want to, make a name for yourself. And that's great. But at some point, there's a turning point where you think to yourself, what's it all for? Why am I doing this? What's the real purpose behind what I'm doing? And so that also ties into your philanthropic endeavors as well. And the ideal is to be able to do your job, but also tie it into something philanthropic so you know what you're working for and what you're working toward. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I love that you share it like that because, you know, this is something I feel like maybe our listeners and viewers may also consider. And I want to invite people to consider is like, what is that way that I am able to give back? And
Yes.
sometimes we may have this idea like, I need to be at this place,
Right.
which could feel so far from here
Right.
in order to do that.
Right.
But what it sounds like with what you're saying is it's really just about shifting the perspective and seeing like, well, where I am now, there's someone who's a few steps behind in some way. Maybe I could lend a helping hand.
Absolutely.
And that's really beautiful. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people can take and see in their own fields, in their own lives. Like, what is that thing that they can do to help someone else? And it could be a small action, you know, right here and now.
Right.
And I wonder for you, like, is there a specific cause or specific way that you're giving back right now or that you support, that you feel like this is really fueling me, this is really rewarding for me right now? Like, for example, well, I want to let you answer, then I have a specific curiosity that came to me.
Okay. As of late, I've been injured, so I haven't been running as much, but I really try to tie my passion for running and doing marathons and giving back to charities. And one of my favorite is a cause for cancer. My mom passed away from leukemia at a very young age. And prior to her passing, I was still really focused on children's cancer and then parlayed that into adult cancer as well. And it's a passion of mine because it's so personal to me. But every time I run, I meet people who also are tied to the cause. And you get such a nice network, so many nice people that are out there doing a good thing. It's healthy, it's beneficial. And it really helped me just become more healthy and get a little bit more balanced. Just carving out the time in your day. Like if you're too focused on your job, you're not taking the time out for your health. And running actually gives you a little bit of, endorphins. It gives you a little bit of a boost. And you're running towards a goal, literally. And you're raising money. And I find that so rewarding.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And like today there's the half marathon, like we mentioned, it's like your energy. I feel like you feel like brought this energy. And, you mentioned your, injury. I'm going to mention a little bit about because, our founder, Dr. Master Shah, he is a world-renowned healer. Oh. He is a humanitarian and he, does extraordinary work. So maybe offline I will share a little bit more about that and,
Please
supportive because it can be very supportive in combination with Western medicine practices. And,
absolutely.
This vibration and, it's so wonderful that get people together in community, do something that's good for the body, good for the mind.
Positive, feel good. Absolutely.
Yes. And, I feel like it takes something to run long distance. It's like, it may sound like, have you run a marathon, like full on? Like, what's your running history?
Okay. I'm going to be very inspirational because I feel like if I can do a marathon, anyone can do a marathon. Anyone can do this. It literally is just baby steps, and you have to walk before you run. And sometimes I walk. When I was younger, I was striving for those good numbers. Like I want to get a great time. But then again, as I get older, I think it's just more important to do something. Keep moving forward. Do not give up. I always joke and say, don't let the old lady in. Keep going. Keep exercising. You got to keep going. Sometimes I feel to myself, should I be doing this? And then I think to myself, yes, I can. You meet so many people at these organizations that go running, and there are people literally in their 80s that are killing it, and they're giving back. They have purpose. They have friendship groups, support groups, but it's a common cause you can rally behind, and I think it's great. It's great for the body and the soul and the charities as well. So I say do it, and don't be intimidated. Like initially, I have a funny story. When I was first doing the New York Marathon, I am the woman that kept putting off my application. I signed up, and then it would come up, and they're like, "Oh, November's coming up for the New York Marathon," and I go online and say, next year I'll do it. Next year I'll do it. And I did that literally 3 years in a row until finally the New York Roadrunners Club said, you can't put it off anymore, lady. 3 years. I think you had enough time to train. It's been 3 years. So finally I did it, and then I was hooked. Wow. And then after that, I started shooting for the Abbott Marathon Series, where I've done the top 6 marathons in the world. And this was all over the age of 40. So age is not an excuse. You got to get out there and do it. And I can't tell you how much I have loved doing it. And it doesn't matter what your time is. It's a community out there. Everyone's helping you, cheering you along. The spectathletes, the spectators, I call them spectathletes. They are fabulous. The whole community rallies behind you, and it's a great feeling.
Oh,
I highly recommend it.
This is truly inspirational, on many levels. Like as a woman, also you brought up age, you brought up community, bringing people together. Like,
Yes.
in another conversation, we were just talking about how easy it is to be isolated.
That's right.
Life gets so busy.
Especially with COVID. Everyone was isolated during that time as well.
Yeah, people got so used to just being home.
That's right.
Doing Uber Eats, Uber groceries, whatever.
That's right.
Uber everything. Right. And you just, no offense to Uber, love you Uber. I just Uber eated my lunch today, but I'm just saying.
No disrespect to Uber.
I love you, Uber. In fact, please sponsor this. I would love that. But what I'm saying is that.
We're just making a point. That's all.
just saying, basically delivery services, convenience.
Yes.
And the point is like those little interactions we may have once had are becoming less and less and less and less. So if we're not making that initiative to meet our friends, to meet our family, to go out in the community, to do things of this nature, to even just move our body, like get out.
Yes.
It can easily become, a very isolating life.
Oh, absolutely.
So I love that you're bringing that forward and saying, like, don't let something stand in your way, even your own thoughts.
Even your own thoughts.
Like, because for me, I just imagine what is like running for so long, and how do you manage? Like, do you have any memory or like of those thoughts when they come up and then how you move through it? And like, what is that like?
I just hope I have a good playlist going and that my battery doesn't die out as I'm running on my iPad. But I absolutely, have times where I'm just totally bored, to be honest. And I just think to myself, I'm by myself. Sometimes you're isolated. The runners are either way ahead of you or way behind you. But I find that, living in New York City, I find sometimes being on my own very rewarding. Like if I'm just by myself with my thoughts, because rarely do I get to do that. So if it happens to be in the middle of nowhere or in New York at the New York City Marathon or somewhere else, I actually treasure those times now. It used to be intimidating to me because I thought to myself, I need the music, I got to keep going. But now I actually embrace those times when I'm by myself and I might not have, or my battery dies or something happens to me. And even if I have to walk the marathon part of the way, I love it. It's alone time and, you get to be with your thoughts. And I think that's really nice.
Yeah.
You're taking in the moment. You're not distracted by anything else.
Taking the moment is so key and having those things that bring us there.
That's right.
I also want to backtrack because you mentioned some causes very close to your heart, especially like the children with cancer and any causes with cancer with your mom. And I think especially for any of our listeners or viewers who've gone through, losing a parent in their life, especially at a young age, what was that journey like for you? How have you been able to continue to thrive and move through that? And what has that been like? And what, any words of inspiration for anyone who may be going through that right now?
I think that when you lose a parent at a younger age, and especially when your parent is young, I think it really puts life in perspective. I was thinking about my career. I was 40 when my mom passed away, and I was just devastated. But that's always a critical age too, because you're just, once you hit 40, you start thinking about life in a different way. And you just think to yourself, what do I really want out of life? Life is short. If you're 40 and you're thinking about your mom passing away at 62, what if you only had 22 more Thanksgivings or holidays or, St. Patrick's Days like tomorrow? What if you only have those type of, that limited amount of time? What do you want to do at that time? Do you want to stay on the same track that you're going? It kind of forces you to think about, what do I really want out of life? And it makes you think more about your family, some of the relationships where you can be closer to your family, your friends. It makes you prioritize things that I think are important that when life gets too busy, you somewhat forget about. So
yes.
And I think about that on my running too. Sometimes in the quietest moments, I think about, why I'm doing that marathon. It's on behalf of a charity. And I think about the people that do have leukemia and how they're not running and you're running for them. And I think you should be grateful, or I try to be grateful that I have the ability to do this. Even if I am the slowest runner, I'm definitely one of the more enthusiastic runners. But even if I'm slow or I'm not having my best day, it's still a better day. I'm still alive and I still have a chance to make a difference. And I think that's really important. It sounds so cliche, but it's when you're out there and you're with a group and you're doing it for a cause, it really is impactful, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. And it brings to me the idea of thinking about others and how grateful. And you started the conversation with that, right? Like just how grateful we are to be here and able to even be in New York. And, how does gratitude play a part in your life, and how are you able to also like sustain that, in every day?
I think when life happens, you can't help what happens to you, but you can control how you deal with what happens to you. And I think that if you always think of positive thoughts, and if you do it every day, it's like you're watering your soul. If you let it build up and you don't give back and think about how grateful you are for things, it builds up and you're not releasing the bad toxins. But when you every day just release everything and just say, look, I'm grateful for this. Maybe I'm not happy in life about that, but look how it's helped me in other ways. Like, just shift your mindset and just think about ways that you can be more mindful of your blessings and even bad times in your life. How has that turned around for you, and what have you learned from that, and what other positive experiences may have come from that? And if you just shift your mind a little bit and think more positively, you can control which direction you're going to go. You're not always going to have a great life. Bad things will happen to you, but how you control the outcome and how you think about things can really make you focused on the right path.
This is so key, because I hear a lot of people talk about like thoughts and manifestation, and
yes,
oftentimes it's like, I think what you said is key, is like, life is not always sunshine and rainbows.
No.
There's a lot of challenges that come. So having that awareness, and almost like, I don't want to say expecting, but just having an awareness like that's a part of life.
Right.
Then when it does happen, we are equipped to respond in a positive way.
Yes.
And we've, practiced it, and so that's something that I wonder is like, do you have a practice or something, like, do you meditate, or what does that look like for you? Like, what is your way that you like to keep your thoughts positive? And do you have something like that you do each day?
When I was injured, I was trying to figure out a way to heal myself. I had a radial head fracture in my arm. It was making it very difficult to exercise. So I took Pilates more often. And then I thought to myself, I'm really enjoying what I'm learning. Maybe I can heal my arm. So I became a Pilates instructor.
Wow.
So with Equinox, and I trained with them, and I just became more mindful. And the whole exercise of Pilates, just the stretching and moving and the positive, affirmations, it really resonated with me. And I'm glad that I did that. Again, you take an incident that was terrible. I broke my arm. I was injured. I couldn't do anything else. And I thought, that's it. I can't run anymore. And then it led into another path, which was the Pilates, and something more soothing and giving me more balance and flexibility, and ultimately helping me heal. So that helped me a lot.
That's so powerful. And I mean, like let's just kind of amplify that a little bit, because Pilates is like no joke. Like, Pilates is like one of my favorite like real trend is like all the macho bros. Like, I don't know if you see, it's like the hockey players or like the workout bros. They go and do a Pilates class. They've got this like a 1 pound weight, and they're just like
Just
shaking. Some of them are like on the floor.
It's true. They try to be macho men in the classes. Like the Pilates instructor always warns you and says, look, just take a 1 pound weight. Trust me. She's trying to help everyone out. So, and you're doing this motion, you're doing that motion, you're doing all of this. And after a while, even with 1 pound, it hurts. I'm shaking. Like I'm supposed to be, better at this. I mean, it really does move all different muscles, and it's a good workout.
Yeah, it is. And it's like you said, like for the mind. And
yes.
I do feel too, like the flexibility of the body is also like this representation of the mind as well.
Yes.
And you have that, like from the moment I met you, you have this beautiful positive energy, this like, flexibility. Oh, thank you. And I just feel like, wow, that's just really inspiring, because it doesn't always mean that life is easy.
Right.
And you've shared all of these things that you've been through and that you've experienced, and all the work and the dedication. Like, we're talking about the 6 top marathons in the world, like, and all, like everything, law schools, like these are really big feats, of the mind, of intention, of dedication, of persistence, of perseverance. Like, it takes something to do these things. And I find that really admirable and inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. and really, I think something that we can learn from and be inspired by. And I wonder, for anyone who's listening and maybe they have something like something they want to achieve or a goal, like what would your words of wisdom or motivation be for them?
Don't be afraid to fail. I think people get in their heads and they think, if I don't do this perfectly, I've got to do this in 3 years. Or I've got to achieve a certain grade point average. I was an average student in college, and I was a phenomenal student in high school. And then I went to college, and I probably didn't study as much as I should have studied. But I always joke around, when I went to law school, I hunkered down and did phenomenal. But I thought to myself, all right, I'm behind the 8 ball. When I go out there and get my first job, I'm not going to be as competitive with this grade point average. But you know what? If you want something bad enough, you just figure out a way to achieve it. Don't worry about what people tell you. It's your life. You have to ultimately answer for yourself. Don't worry about what people think. Take the advice, take it in. And at some point, you're going to be good enough to know you're going to trust your gut, because you've been through after a while, like with age, with experience, you're going to finally trust your gut, and you're going to know what to do. But the funny story about my college is that even though I didn't get the best grade point average, I ended up getting on the board of trustees of my college.
Wow.
So, I laugh because my father and my parents used to always tell me, like, why aren't you getting better grades? And in fairness, I worked all through college as well. I worked 40 hours a week to pay for college. So that kind of distracted me a bit from my studies. But I figured, people kept saying, if you don't get great grades, you'll never make it. And listen to people, take their advice, but at the same time, just know it's your life. And if you want something badly enough, you'll find a way. It doesn't matter if you go to an Ivy League school. It doesn't matter if you get your GED. It doesn't matter, if you put off college and take a gap year. It doesn't matter if you take extra time to finish college. Life, to bring back to running, is a marathon. You're competing against yourself. You're in your own head. And if you want something, do it. Don't live your life with regrets. You'll regret what you don't do. Do it. Do it with a strategy, and don't be reckless, but figure something out and figure out a plan and do your life. It's your life. And you'll thank yourself later if you follow through.
This is like really, really sound advice. I feel like I'm also taking this in, and it always means something. I think hearing it from someone who has been through it. And I feel like you, with your journey in life, are actually, it's almost like a transmission of wisdom, because it's not just words that you've heard, it's a realization you had through actually realizing that through your own life. Right. So when you say it, it has a different frequency, a different vibration. It's like it's a different way of receiving that message. So it's really powerful. And it's also something that I love hearing the message about the grades, and now being on the board of trustees, it's like the biggest.
I'm like him. I'm here.
Oh, it's just extraordinary. I love it.
Don't let other people tell you what you can or cannot do. You might be breaking boundaries that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
When I was practicing law, I absolutely did not like it. And I kept thinking to myself, what am I going to do? I went to law school and I have student loans, and, I have to be on this path. And I'm so lucky to be in New York. If I leave this path, what will happen with my life? I'll never get back on that path again. Like you struggle with these thoughts, and you should, because you're weighing your options in your head. But, look, something came along where I enjoyed it as a legal recruiter, and doing consulting, and I didn't know that type of path existed. And sometimes if you can't find a path, you forge one. You figure out what you want to do, you make your own path, and you just do it. And look, there's no rule book. When I was going into recruiting, it wasn't actually a job. Like, I don't know how I even fell into it. I guess partly luck. When I kind of forged a career for myself. But if you can't find something that suits you, figure out what you want to do and just go for it and create it. And I lived it, so I can say it. And I think when you're younger, you hear this advice and you're like, well, that worked for her, but it's not going to work for me. I mean, I was just as scared in my 20s. I thought my life looking ahead was very intimidating, and it was very scary. And especially in New York, everybody's so competitive. And, look, you will find your way. Even if you will, you just will. And it doesn't matter if you fail, you just get up and you keep going. And I've known so many people that I haven't met one successful person who hasn't failed. And that's, if someone says that they've never failed, I'd question how successful they are, or if they've ever really achieved their goal. Because I'm telling you something, you learn just as much from your failures as you do your success. And you just have to keep a positive spirit, keep a positive mind. Just realize you're going through, what do they say? Winston Churchill always joked, like, when you're going through hell, keep going. Just keep going. You'll find your way. Just do it.
Yes.
And someone's watching you. And someone's watching you. Like, you think that you're not making impact. You are. You don't know who you impacted just by being kind, as we discussed, just by forging your own path. Just keep going. That's the best advice I can give. Don't let anyone define your success for you. If someone says you can't do it, you're not smart enough, you're not this, you're not that, you know what you're capable of doing, and only you know. And just do what you really want to do.
That's so powerful. Yes. If you do not find your way, forge it.
Forge it.
Create it.
Create it.
Wow.
Especially, and I love each generation, particularly as we discuss, speak about women, how the women before me forged a path. They couldn't even have their own credit cards. Can you imagine that? Like, it's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing.
Yes.
It's mind-blowing.
And if you want to get married, get married. Don't tell anyone, don't tell people that you need to have a career. If you don't want a career, do what you want to do. It's your life. And you're going to look back and be so grateful that you did what you wanted to do. What's in your gut? What do you want to achieve? It doesn't have to be an explosive career. It could be philanthropy. It could be having a family. Whatever it is that you want, you do it. And don't worry about what the latest trends are. Don't worry about what the press is telling you. Don't worry about what you're hearing. Just find your voice and follow it. It's hard because you get so many messages, and especially with the internet and with other media out there, you really have to take the time to just meditate, reflect, and really find your way.
Yes. Wow. This is amazing. This is like, there are so many wisdom drops in here. I highly encourage everyone to replay this and get a notebook. That's what I would do. That's what I will do, actually. Yeah. And it's simple, but it's also very profound. And, these are really important things. Like you said, to not just say, oh, this person's saying this and I'm listening, but actually take it in.
Yes.
And practice it and start using it in daily life. And I love the sharing about finding your voice.
Yes.
And also, finding what is my life? What do I want to create? What am I here to do? What is my purpose? All of these things, and start living it.
Yes.
And just doing it.
Yes.
And okay, so we have a final question that we ask everybody, and it is, if you could be a catalyst of change for one thing in the world right now, what would it be?
I would help other women, because just being a woman who is forging my own career, I would want to be a catalyst for change to help women get ahead in whatever they want to do, and just tell them that, aging's not always fun, but one of the best things about aging is that you get so much life experience, and things that impacted you before don't impact you as much now in a negative sense. I would just want to help that person, just as many people have helped me in my career. I would sincerely want to just sit down with that person, a woman or a man, just say, look, what do you want to do? How can I help you? And I want to be a catalyst for change for them, to just get them to think about things that maybe, before they get too far down the path of not doing what they want to do. How can I help? How can I be of service to you? How can I help you with your life and your career? I want to give back to the younger generations, and I want to help. It takes a village.
It does.
All of us. It takes. There's so much to learn. You can learn from younger people. You can learn from older people. Just help people. That's what I want to do. In whatever form that takes.
Wow, it's amazing. I'm going to be reaching out.
And I look forward to it. You're so much fun. You're so smart. I would love to work with you. Yes.
Wow, I love it. So, and I want to encourage everyone, because we will have all the information in the description. So to check you out, if they want to connect with your amazing services. And I want to thank you so much. Is there any final words before we close our session today that you have for the viewers and listeners?
I would say enjoy life. You get one life. It's short. Have fun. And thank you so much for having me on your show. What a privilege to be here. I happen to be in New York. I live here. And what a wonderful show. It's so great to see you again. No matter where you are in the world, I'm so glad I got to see you in New York. And I hope you have a great weekend and celebrate the weekend and have some fun.
Yes! We're going to have so much fun.
Good.
Thank you. I love it.
Thank you very much.
I love it. And yes, it was amazing. We said London, now New York. We're just going to keep popping up in all these different
Where are we next?
places.
Who knows? You have to stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned to check it out. Because we are catalysts of change, and you are a catalyst of change. That is for sure in the world.
And so are you with this show.
You.
I watch you on social media. You're such a dynamo. I love your social media posts. Sometimes I get too distracted. I love watching where you are now in the world and what you're doing. So keep doing what you're doing. It's great. We enjoy it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I want to welcome everyone to check out our episodes of Catalysts of Change. And thank you for joining us for this awesome conversation. And you continue being catalysts of change in your own lives, communities, and the world. And we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.